I wanted to take the time to take a step back at what type of coach we really have in Coach Arthur Smith. It has been 2 years, 2 full years, going on year three. And one thing I can say about this coach is that he is extremely, extremely consistent. I love what he brings to the table. I love what he's capable of doing with this team. I love what he's done with this team so far. Now, I know a lot of people look at the 2-7-10 records and they give it somewhat of a bad rap. But even though numbers are numbers and you really can't excuse for losing seasons, but when you really understand what has been going on for the past 2 seasons, it's really been a testament on how good this coach really is. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on where this team could go with this very consistent coach. Welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. It's been a lot of Atlanta Falcons football on the table. And for episode 587, I want to talk about why that is the case. Why that this coach is, doing so well with the hand that he was given. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Also on, I think I said YouTube and Rumble already. You can follow me on Twitter at VFBaller. I am also on the website, firstandframerates.com. I just got finished listening to the press conference that Coach Arthur Smith put together this past, I can say a few hours ago. And then it made me take a step back and really think. This guy has really been saying the same thing since he first walked in the door, before he even coached this team. Before, he was able to get the team together to do some things. This first press conference, up until now, he's basically been the same type of coach. And some people may think that's, it's not good. But the consistent coaches are the ones that are most successful. They don't really change things up. They don't have to change things up. If they have to change things up, usually that means that they're doing stuff wrong. And it's not a knock on previous coaches, but most of our previous coaches had to do that. But even the late great Dan Reeves, before he was out the door, he had made a few changes that just wasn't working the way that we would like. Coach Mike Smith, one of our most successful coaches, he had to make a few adjustments before he was on the way out. Don't need to talk about Jim Mora or Bobby Petrino, even though I like Jim Mora. Bobby Petrino was a disgrace, in my opinion. Also, you look at Dan Quinn, he made a lot of changes before he was gone. He stopped calling defensive plays. And, he had tried to get different offensive coordinators in, and it just didn't work. Even the one-liners that he was doing, the rah-rah the team together, he had to make a change to do all that. And shout out to Dan Quinn. He's a great defensive coordinator, and I think that's where that's where he is. That's where he needs to be. He does a phenomenal job at that. But when you look at Arthur Smith, ever since he walked in the door, ever since he's been here, he's been teaching the same philosophy, whether it was Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, and now it's Desmond Ridder. And not only he's been teaching the same philosophy, he's been finally getting the players that he wants to be in this philosophy, in this ecosystem, on this team, in this program, on this franchise. He has done the things that, you would want a coach to do to turn things around. And they turned it around the right way. Some coaches could get real stubborn and try to fix things and put a square through a round hole and force things to happen. But he's been very patient. And I think Arthur Blank has been very patient with them. And I think we're going to start seeing some results. I mean, you look at the players that he put on this team, him and Terry Fontenot, getting some veterans, getting some high quality talent in the draft, picking up finally able to get enough money to put players to get players in the free agency world. I said this last episode that last mini camp, I mean not mini camp, but last OTAs, the first day just hit different. Something felt different about looking at that team together and making things happen. It wasn't like last year. It wasn't like the year before that. Something about this team is different. And I think that some people are starting to catch on. Some people in the media are starting to catch on. You know, people are starting to realize, like, wait a minute. You look at this NFC South, you know, you don't have any like hot shot veterans at quarterback. You don't have well-established teams in the NFC South, no matter what the Saints fans say. I mean, I know I've had some Saints fans come to me and say that their team is this, that, and the third. No, all of us are rebuilding, man. All of us are. Whether it be the Panthers to the Saints, to the Falcons, to the Bucks, we're all rebuilding in some shape or form. But you cannot deny, regardless of what this rivalry is, in any of these teams in the division, you can't deny that the Falcons made the most moves. And the moves that they were making are very significant. Does this equate to more wins? It should. I'm not going to sit here and tell you and say like, oh, it means nothing and they should go another 7-10 or worse. No. You made all these moves. You need to win 10 wins or better. And I'm not joking about it. It should be at least 10 wins or better. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Nobody knows that. I mean, nobody really didn't see what the Eagles did. I mean, they were damn near 15-1 at one point in last season. Nobody saw that coming. Even their fans didn't see that. I mean, we just have to be honest with it. We just don't know. The only thing we could do is continue to watch this coach prepare this team for September 10th. Watch this team prepare to get better every week. And I think with this coach here, I think we really have the situation for it. You know, I really do. I think we have the coach. I think we have the staff. And then we have the GM. There's really no excuses at the bare minimum, you should win 9 games. All these moves should give you at least a 2-win boost. You got to understand, we won 5 games with Marcus Mariota. And knowing what we know now, and I've been saying this for a while, you know, throughout the season, last season, we shouldn't have won any games with that quarterback. It wasn't necessarily the team. His decision-making really screwed his team over. Even though he was like NFC player of the week one week, you know what I mean? The numbers were cool. You beat an elite team in the NFC with the 49ers. But outside of that, I didn't see anything that showed me that Marcus Mariota was going to be a playoff caliber quarterback. We won 5 games with him. So that tells me that the coaching staff has done a phenomenal job of maintaining that this team can run the ball, play some fairly solid defense, keep these teams that we play against under 20 points, and give the team a chance to win. Now, with this revamped team in all aspects, I mean, let's be honest, offense, defense, special teams, this team has transformed almost completely. Most of it is by addition because we didn't lose too many players, but most of it is by addition. And the way that it is done, there's no reason for the team to get 9 or 10 wins minimum. You should see at least a 2 to 3 game win boost with all of these moves. If that's the case, if we don't get that, then the title of this episode means nothing, because as well as this coach has coached, there's no excuse for him to go backwards with making all of these moves. And I think a lot of people realize that. They just don't want to admit it because, I mean, let's be honest, the Falcons are still like a joke of the NFL. I mean, people still can't get over what happened in the Super Bowl. You know, it is wild because it's like you got 2, maybe 3 guys left from that Super Bowl run. I mean, the team is totally turned around. You know, we don't even have the coaching staff here anymore. It's like we don't even have the same GM. You know, it's wild, but you know, fans are going to be fans. It is what it is. I'm not tripping on it or nothing. But it's just the fact that when you take a step back like I did, and I went back and listened to a handful of Coach Arthur Smith press conferences, I look at what type of results that he's looking for, the things that he's putting together with the personnel, and what type of philosophy of football they're trying to play. This is a damn good coach. I don't think any other coach would have won this many games with this team. Matt Ryan had no receivers the first year. Second year, we basically didn't have any. We didn't have a quarterback the second season. Do we have a quarterback this year? I don't know. I think Desmond Ridder's going to be all right. But I think this team is a lot better than people want to give it credit for. And I think this coach is a lot better than a lot of people want to give it credit for. But I'm going to give it today. I give this guy his flowers as much as possible until he shows me otherwise that he needs to be out the door. But right now, this offseason is going to continue to be as exciting as it is. The OTAs look good. Training camp's going to look good. Preseason and on and on. Hopefully it stays that way. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. How consistent you think Coach Arthur Smith is. I think he's very consistent. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's done a lot with the hand he was dealt with. And it's really unfortunate that things just didn't play out the way it did, like especially last season. I really think we had a chance to make some noise. If Marcus Mariota played slightly better football, we probably would have been in the playoffs. And I mean, to be honest, once you're in the playoffs, no telling what can happen. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Hit that like button if you haven't already. People, hit that like button. Let me know how you feel about what's going on over here. Go over there to the podcast avenues, hit that 5-star rating. Also, I contend and I will advise you to subscribe to More Than One Avenue because of the podcast may act up sometime as far as getting on the platforms. And I am found on Twitter at VFBaller, and firstandframers.com is the website. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys once again. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.